Listen, your time is precious, and I don't want you letting any man waste it. So it's important for you to recognize when a guy is not serious about you, because the unfortunate reality is that there are gonna be men who engage with you, maybe even take your number, maybe go on a few dates, right? Want to sleep with you, but they're not serious about you. Now listen, this goes off the assumption that you want something serious, all right? So now if you don't want anything serious, then what this video has to say may not apply to you, or you may not care to hear it. But I'm going to assume if you're watching is because yes, you're looking for something real, and you need to be aware of what some of these red flags are that show you, nah, this guy's not it, or he's not trying to give you what you're looking for. So let's get right to it. Number one is he rarely initiates contact. Now, again, to some of you, y'all might be thinking or saying, this is common sense. Listen, no, I'm sorry, but common sense ain't always so common. And a lot of times, because we get caught up in what we want and our like for this person, and this can happen both ways to men and women, we start to overlook a lot of red flags, or as I say, we rationalize past these red flags. And one of those rationalizations is the whole lack of communication and lack of contact. And so here's the thing. I understand that some people are very busy, though I know most of us will agree that someone, whether they're busy or not, people make time for what they want to make time for. However, I do think that, of course, there are some people who have a lot more time to give because they don't have much going on, whereas others generally are busy, and so there's a little bit more that goes into them making that sacrifice. Either way, a man who rarely initiates contact is showing you he's not serious. Now, again, not serious is not equal to not liking you. Not serious is not equal to not viewing you as a good woman or seeing any value in you. It not serious is simply equal to not either willing or ready to pursue or pour the energy necessary to create or build a relationship, a serious relationship. So I think it's important to understand that, because I think that's where the other confusion kicks in, because it's like, well, he seems like he likes you. You know, he seems like he's really interested. He may be interested in you, right? In the sense that, yeah, like this girl looks good, she's smart, she's this, boom, boom, boom. But something's missing. Or he's just at a point in his life where making a serious commitment is not on his radar right now. Whatever the hell it is, he's not there. And so when he is unwilling to initiate contact, or he rarely initiates contact, that becomes a concern. Now, I will say this, because we have to understand that it's not always so black and white. And that's why I always encourage you to address an issue before you cut someone off or jump to a final conclusion. So if he's rarely initiating contact, I'm going to give you one example of what could happen. All right. This is not to excuse the behavior, but it explains it, and it is why we have to go deeper. Let's say he's not initiating contact because he feels like you don't initiate contact. So what I mean is that there are many situations where man and woman meet, they exchange numbers. They may talk the first couple days, right? But and maybe initially he did initiate contact for the first few days, week, whatever. But at some point, he's not calling as much. And for a lot of women, they feel like, well, it's the man that should be calling me. It's on him. Like, I don't know how many times I've had women say, well, I haven't heard from him in 5 days. And I'm like, well, did you call him in those 5 days? Like, what do you mean? Like, so it's only his responsibility. It's not yours at all. And so he may have withdrawn, or he may be showing not the same level of initiative and effort because he's not sure where you stand. He's not sure how interested and serious you are. Because I know some of y'all may think it's only the man who's playing games or not serious. Nah, women do it too. So he has to be cautious at times, or he has to be paying attention to these red flags as well. And that's why it's so important to simply have a conversation, because in that conversation, you can discover that. I remember one time on one of my previous YouTube videos where I explained this dynamic, And a woman commented and said she almost cut the guy off. They had a conversation. It did turn out in her scenario that he wasn't sure she was really that interested. Once they hashed the whole thing out, she said everything got better. Now they're in a relationship and they're extremely happy together. Like, it really can play out that way. And so you got to be willing to just talk about things and not just jump to conclusions. Now, that was just one example. But again, the point is, you never know. But I'll say this, if you address it and you guys can't hash it out, or he now is unable or unwilling to correct it, all right, now we can proceed with he ain't serious, keep it moving. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check this one out right here, and I'll see you there. They say when you're a good woman, you don't lose people, people lose you. But not exactly, all right? And let me explain. Listen, you may be a good woman at your core.